Yo, what's up guys, it's Noah from Glitchmaker, and today I would like to talk about Red Dragon Archfiend, specifically the pure variants, and I also want to talk a little bit about this card. We will get to him later, but this is a deck list that I whipped up in like 15 minutes. This is supposed to be just like some list someone new to the deck can learn with, and they can adjust the list however they want. But the deck is very strong. It's definitely not a tiered contender because look at what the meta is right now. It's like Snake Eyes, Yubel, Tempai, and everything, and their mother is running Fiendsmith Engine if they can. But for the deck list, 3 Soul Resonator, normal special to add a level 4 lower Fiend, except itself. And then if a card you control would be destroyed by a card effect while you control RDA or a synchro that mentions it, banish it from grave instead. Vision, if you control a level 5 or higher Dark, you can special it from hand, and then if it's sent from field to graveyard, or not field to graveyard, sent to graveyard at all, you add a spell trap that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend from deck to hand. 2 Crimson Resonator. If you control no monsters, special summon this card from hand. If the only other monster you control is 1 Dark Dragon Synchro, special 2 Resonators from deck. You can cut this down to 1. I'm just playing it at 2 because some people do like to play it at 2, and I'd like people to decide for themselves how many of cards that you can vary the ratios on that they want to play. 2 Synchron Resonators. Synchro monsters on the field, you can special summon it. If it's sent from field to grave, you can target a Resonator in grave and add it to your hand except this monster. You can also play one of this if you wish. 3 Bone Archfiend. If it's in hand or graveyard, send another card from your hand or field to the graveyard, special summon it. You can target a face-up monster you control that has a level, send a Fiend Tuner from deck or hand to graveyard, and increase or decrease the level by 1. Obsessive Loop. If it's in hand, you can target a synchro monster you control or in graveyard, banish it, and special this card. If it's in graveyard, you can do the same thing, but add it to your hand instead. Stone Sweeper. You can discard it to add a level 3 or lower Fiend Tuner. Guess what we're searching with it? Also, if there's a field spell live, which won't happen very often, that effect comes up more often in Centurion builds. But this might come up if you're playing against something like, I don't know, Crystal Beasts, or any random deck with a field spell. Tempai. You can special summon this card. It's a level 5 non-tuner, may be useful. 2 Crimson Gaia. During main phase, add a Red Dragon Archfiend or card that mentions it from deck or graveyard to hand except itself. When your Red Dragon Archfiend declares an attack, you can book all your opponent's monsters. If a monster on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, special summon Red Dragon Archfiend from graveyard. 3 Resonator College. Rhoda for Resonators. Void Apocalypse. Discard a card, send a Fiend from deck to graveyard. The 3rd copy of this could also just be Foolish Burial, or you could just straight up play Foolish Burial alongside it. 1 copy of Red Zone. If your opponent activates a card or effect while you control RDA or a synchro that mentions it, target a card on the field and destroy it. You can target a banish Dark Dragon Synchro and special summon it. Called by the Grave. Pretty self-explanatory. Helps stop hand traps. Pot of Prosperity. Banish 3 or 6 from extra face down. Excavate that many cards and pick 1 to add to your hand. Normally your targets are 1 Red Rising, 1 Scarred, 1 RDA, 1 Abyss, Bane, Curie Belt, and Void Ogre. Those are the typical contenders. Do not use this card before you have seen an Ash, or do not banish 6 if you haven't seen Ash yet. If you haven't seen Ash, banish 3. Going second, you can just banish 6 off of it. Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill, Ash, Nib and Imperm, just hand traps that do stuff. Red Lotus King, Flame Crime. This card I will get to later, but if you control a Fiend Tuner or your opponent controls a special summon monster, quick effect special summon from hand. If it's special summon, inflict 400 for each fire monster you control with a different name, with different names. If this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can dump a normal trap from deck to graveyard. Your target is Red Rain. If you control level 8 or higher synchro monster, banish all monsters on the field except the monsters with the highest level. Remaining monsters on the field are unaffected by other card effects except their own until the end of the turn. If a Dark Dragon Synchro is summoned to your field while it's engraved, you can add it to hand. Synergizes very well with Flame Crime. 3 Red Rising, 2 Scarred, 2 RDA, 1 Scarlet, 2 Abyss, 1 Bane, 1 Supernova, 1 Kiwi Belt, 1 Void Ogre, 1 Dissipator. This is very normal. You can cut Scarred or RDA or both down to 1. That is an option. You can cut this down to 1. That is an option. You don't need to play Void Ogre. This is just the one I threw in. Pure Red Dragon Archfiend is the best variant for Void Ogre. The other 2 better variants, Bestial Red Dragon Archfiend and Centurion Red Dragon Archfiend, can consistently end their turn with cards in hand and have a hard time emptying their hands sometimes if they don't get stopped multiple times sometimes. So Void Ogre is almost never going to be summoned in those variants, especially as the game progresses. You'll just keep having cards in hand. I should know those are the 2 variants I play. I do not normally play Pure, but I do know quite a bit about Pure. I just prefer playing Bestial and Centurion. Other cards you could play in extra deck. Any other realistically playable Dark Dragon Synchro is fine. You can also play SP Little Knight, Typhon, Chaos Angel, or Draco Berserker of the Tinny. They are not Dark Dragon Synchros, so they don't synergize very well, but their main use is for grind games where you get to your second turn or onward. You can just make them and then go, okay, I'm just gonna do their effect real quick and then I'll continue. Or in the case of Typhon, you can use it if you're like in a very bad spot. 1 Resonator inside. It's a fine time win condition, very consistent time win condition. If your opponent doesn't stop this, you no longer have to fire off Scarlet. Basically, playing this for time means your opponent kinda has to stop 2 points for your time win condition instead of just Scarlet. 1 Magnuma, 1 Juris Worm, 1 Baldrake, or 2 Juris Worm, 2 Baldrake, whatever. They're just nice. We're not playing them in main because if you play them in main, you might as well just play Lubellians, then you play a Branded Beast, and then at that point you're just playing Bestial RDA. So there's not really a point in playing Bestials in main deck Pure because you're just going to end up playing Bestial RDA anyway, which is just the better variant, and some people just like playing Pure more. But let's get on to Flame Crime. So many people have just been gaslit into believing this card is amazing. It is not nearly as good as people think it is. There are so many better extenders. Void Apocalypse is a better extender. Wandering King Wildwind is a better extender. Salamander Catalyzer is a better extender. And it's mainly because they synergize with these 2. It's a lot more, it's kinda a bit more important that they synergize with these 2 because they're just gonna be slapped on the board. Anyway, Soul Resonator has an awkward level to work with if you don't have a level modulation effect. Bone Archfiend has a level modulation effect. This is why Soul Resonator is so good. Normally Soul Resonator would be kind of iffy because it's a level 3. Level 3s can be kind of tough to work with in this deck. Which is one of the reasons why Flame Crime just does not work. No level modulation effect and it's a level 3. Does not synergize with your mini level 2 resonators. Doesn't synergize well with your level 1 resonator. And if you get like a level 4 tuner, okay, you're making QE well, I guess. you could potentially like use it as like an additional non-tuner to like get to a higher level synchro, but even then 3 is just an awkward level to work with because a lot of your synchros that have an even level are the generic ones. Abyss needs a Dark Dragon synchro. Bane needs a Dark Dragon synchro. This needs just a synchro. Red Supernova just needs a synchro. So it's kind of hard to use this card. The burn effect. If you need like a time win condition in your main deck, first of all, Red Resonator is a lot better because it's a lot easier to integrate into combo lines. Because look, level 2, it's instantly easier to integrate into combo lines. And also, Red Resonator gets you more life points than Flame Crime can even burn for most of the time. Half the time you could like Red Resonator and gain 21. That's crazy. Then you have the problem of, even if you did want to play this, it's only 1 or 2 of, you don't want to play 3. 3 is just not the way to go. You don't want a tunnel vision on Red Rain because it looks insanely powerful. But this deck already does so much insanely powerful stuff that Red Rain, if you set up full inboard, kinda is a win more. You also have the issue of having 2 packages that basically are better at extending plays, and the Ascator Dawnwalker and Supay Duskwalker packages. Those can get you to either an 8 in the terms of Ascator and Red Rising in terms of Supay. Flame Crime also does not fix any outstanding issues, nor does it help mitigate any outstanding issues. Bystials and Centurion, those help mitigate some outstanding issues with the deck. Flame Crime does not. It does not do it well. It's hard to integrate into combo lines, and unlike Bone, it can't really extend very well, because then you'll just end up making, what, Abyss plus Red Rain, which, like, sure, it's okay, but if you get Bone Archfiend, you're getting, like, Abyss plus Red Zone plus so much more. It's an absurd. This card just is not that good. If you want a more in-depth explanation on more reasons why this card is not as good as people think it is, I will link a video to Rev's Cards. Explains it way better than I ever could. This card just is not good enough. It just doesn't do enough. It's a fine card. It's decent. But Bone Archfiend exists, and there are also many other better packages. You could play Foolish Burial. That's better than Flame Crime, because you can dump Bone and then get it onto the board if your soul gets stopped. That's all I have for today. I'll see you guys next time, and don't play this card seriously.